Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
The Israeli Prime Minister just went nuclear at the UN General Assembly, calling for a Palestinian state, national suicide, for Israel, and accusing European leaders of pushing his country into a toxic trap. We're talking about Benjamin Netanyahu here, the leader who's been opposed to a Palestinian state for decades. And what a fiery speech he delivered today. So, let me break this down for you. Netanyahu is not one to mince words when it comes to Palestinians or their aspirations for statehood. He's always been an opponent of a Palestinian state, and now he's even gone so far as to say that Western powers are pushing Israel into national suicide by supporting Palestine's bid for recognition. But what's interesting here is that Netanyahu didn't just stop at criticizing the West. He also took aim at his own critics, the European leaders who have recognized Palestine. And let me tell you, he wasn't holding back. He called them out for rewarding Hamas and accused France, the UK, and others of backing a terrorist state. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, what's going on here? Why is Netanyahu being so aggressive? Well, it's simple. He wants to block Palestine's bid for recognition. And if that means using inflammatory rhetoric against European leaders and Palestinian Authority officials, then so be it. But here's the thing, Netanyahu's speech was not just a rambling rant. It also showed some clear strategic thinking. He mentioned his plan to finish the job against Hamas, which suggests that he has a long-term strategy in place to deal with this group. And speaking of strategies, we need to talk about Donald Trump's role here. The US president has been pushing for a ceasefire in Gaza and even hinted at sealing a deal, but Netanyahu was quick to counter his efforts. So, what's going on there? Why is Netanyahu trying to undermine Trump's peace plan? Well, it seems that Netanyahu has decided to play hardball. He wants to maintain control over the West Bank, which some of his cabinet members have even threatened to annex as a way to block Palestine's bid for recognition. But let me tell you, that's not going to fly. And finally, we need to talk about Netanyahu's own personal situation. The Israeli Prime Minister is facing an international criminal court arrest warrant over war crime allegations, including using starvation as a weapon. So, what does his speech say about his commitment to human rights and the rule of law? Not much, if you ask me. But hey, at least he tried to spin it in a way that sounded like he was all for human rights. In conclusion, Netanyahu's speech at the UN General Assembly was a masterclass in propaganda. He used inflammatory rhetoric to whip up support among his base, while also undermining European leaders and Palestinian Authority officials who have recognized Palestine. But let's not forget, this is just another example of Netanyahu's long history of trying to block Palestine's bid for recognition. And that's all from me today on Drivo. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.